So I'm here today with Tanya Kennedy Luminati. Tanya is director of MatrixMaxx, the association management software from Matrix Group, and we are going to talk about data migration.
Yay!
Yay! Tanya, I hear all the time that data migrations are so challenging. Why are they so challenging?
The biggest challenge is that there's so much data, and sometimes it's from multiple database sources. You could be bringing in a main AMS legacy system plus Excel sheets, plus maybe dumps from Outlook or other email systems. But even if there's only one database, sometimes that database has a legacy of multiple imports into it, and that data could be structured differently. So you may have the last 3 years of data is structured slightly differently than the last 5 to 7 years of data.
So this field was used for this from 1990 to 95 and then differently from 95 to 2000.
Yes, we have hit that, where people only had a certain number of fields to work with. They would change what they were using the field for, and so you'll have spans of time where the field actually changes what the data is in the field.
Boy, that's exciting.
That is very exciting.
Tanya, what are 3 things organizations can do if they're about to do a data migration to a new AMS?
Okay, number one, what you need to do is, before you interact with the AMS consultant, you need to sit down and say, what can we get rid of? What do we want to keep and what do we not want to keep? And you do that, and you try to get as many key staff from as many departments as possible to sit down and say, okay, our team uses this, our team uses that, our team uses that. That's what you need to do first, before you even bring the vendor to the table, because that's going to impact your cost. The second thing you want to do is try to gather up as much documentation about the under the hood structure as possible, because what it looks like on the front to you, it may look very, very different under the hood.
So actual information about the tables and the fields.
About the tables, about the field names, because something that looks to you like first name might in the database be called F16. And so it's easy to map first name, but it gets harder to map if you have lots of numeric data fields. Then we start needing sample records. So as much as you can give us in terms of sample records, documentation. The third thing to help this process go better is to be prepared to do some testing and have people, again, like you did in the first step, from different departments, someone from GR, someone from meetings, right ready to help test. Because it could be that someone from membership tests and they say, yes, everything looks great. The membership records, the history, the contacts, everything looks fabulous. But it could be that something came in wrong from meetings. And if you don't find that before the final sign off and before we do the final import, and if you're already using the database and making changes, if a serious import mistake is discovered later, it is very difficult to go back and do a re-import once you've started changing the data in the new format system.
So Tanya, how long does this process take?
It depends on how much data you're bringing in, and I don't mean by, oh, you're bringing in 100 versus a million records. It's how many fields you're actually bringing in. So an import of, say, first name, last name, and email address would be like a couple of hours. We've actually done that one time. But when you're talking about people, you're talking about associations with companies, you're talking about relationships between companies, you're talking about membership history, meetings history, publications history, activity history. If we're talking about all these histories, that is a very long process. That is multiple weeks, if not months, of iterative scripting and asking the association to test, and then scripting the next piece and testing and sort of building the foundation from the contact records up through the activity history. And that's a longer process and it's more costly.
Okay, well, great. Tanya, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching the Matrix Minute. Don't forget to connect with us on our blog and social media. For more information, go to matrixgroup.net.